Welcome to the podcast, Sold by Marco, giving you the current information you've got to know about the real estate market here in Denver. This is a very special episode because I am joined by 8Z's founder, Lane Hornung. That's right, he's in the house today, and we're going to be answering some frequently asked questions that come up about our cash buyer program. It's going to be great. So thank you so much for listening to this if you're checking it out on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for doing that. All right, well, let's not waste any time. And I know Lane doesn't like to waste any time either. I've got Lane on the line. What's up, Lane?
Marco, great to be here. A little snow outside, toasty here and warm. I'm enjoying it.
There you go. It is snowing. It's very cold outside. We're recording this in the middle of this. It's like -20 is what it feels like. It's crazy.
It's hot in here though on Sold by Marco, right?
Yeah, hot. Exactly. It's hot in here on the podcast. I like that. Yeah. So thanks for being here, man. This is going to be a fun episode. Yeah. So look, I've got and by the way, for listeners, if you haven't checked out my other episode, it's episode 15 that explains more details about the cash buyer program. So if you haven't checked that out first. This is sort of meant to be a follow-up to that. But yeah, I guess Lane, if you could give us like the elevator pitch for this program for 8Z cash offers and 8Z bridge, I guess go for it. What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, let's start with the fact that, in this market, I really believe these two programs are game changers. Let's start with cash offers for the buyer, right? Mm-hmm. Cash offer for the buyer, what we do is we allow a buyer to become a cash buyer. Using our capital, we put up our money, we buy the house first, and then the buyer is able to buy it back from us at a later date once they get their mortgage secured. And that's for the buyer who doesn't have a home to sell. The flip side is what we call the modern bridge. And that's for a homeowner, has a home to sell, but wants to, purchase another home. So instead of trying to time that and line up all those dominoes, what we do is we help them buy their next house. We buy it for them. And then at their convenience, they get to move into it, put their existing home on the market, have it shown while they're not in it. And then once they close on that, they buy the new house, their dream home, back from us.
That's the modern bridge.
That's it.
Cool. I mean, I don't want to overcomplicate these programs with this episode, right? Like, they're pretty simple at their core.
Fundamentally, they're pretty simple at their core. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts underneath, but that's what you have a team of experts for as a client.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, my goal with this episode is to just some of these frequently asked questions that come up from a lot of my buyers and sellers, not to get into the weeds too much, but I think this will help provide just an extra level of clarity, to buyers and sellers about how these programs actually work. And this is just one for my own curiosity. Like, where did this come from? How did you start this?
Yeah, so at 8Z, we were watching as the iBuyers sort of came into the market. And our philosophy at 8Z is always we're pro innovation. We're for the consumer. If there's easier ways to buy and sell homes, we're all for that. We're not stuck in the mud, so to speak. So as the iBuyers came into the market, Open Door, Zillow at the time was buying houses. I thought that was pretty cool. It was providing some more liquidity and convenience for home sellers. And so I thought about, well, what's sort of the equivalent that we could help sellers still get full market value, though? Because one of the downsides of selling to an iBuyer is you're not testing the open market. So this modern bridge is where we started helping homeowners buy before they sell. That was really the catalyst for it. How do we make it easier? How do we help them still get full, open market price? Because as you know, in this market, it's really hard to predict how high a home might sell for.
Yes, I do know that. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The market sets the pace, right? And it's doing some wild stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I think it's, I'm a fan. You can see in my face that I'm excited about these programs, right? I mean, they're helping, giving my buyers an edge, a better shot. And for my bridge clients, it's just providing the solution that makes it easier so they don't got to move twice. So
yeah. No, I think for as you mentioned, alluded to, there's not a lot of inventory out there. It's really competitive if you're a buyer. So, part of what our mission is about and what drives us is to level the playing field, make it so all clients of ours are competitive. We don't like to lose at 8Z. We like our clients to win. So this, especially on the cash offer side, really helps them win because it's tough out there.
Yeah, it is. And you mentioned this. You're trying to come up with these, more convenient ways that we can help out our clients using modern technology, using these kind of programs and ideas and innovations. Like that's one of the main reasons I came over here from Keller Williams, biggest real estate company in the world. Great company, right? But that's what attracted me to 8Z, and that's why I'm excited about these specific programs, just because there's really nothing else like this exactly that's out there in Colorado, right? So I guess that's a good transition to the next question. We don't have to go too much into detail about this, but it is a question that comes up from a couple of, I've heard from people is, I've heard about Accept Inc., right? They're local to Colorado. I've heard about Orchard. Like what makes us different than those cash buyer program? And I know you you could go on about this for a while, right? But let's just do a quick answer about what makes 8Z cash buyer different than those other products.
Yeah, the number one reason that our programs and offers is what I think is a superior offer is you, Marco. It's the fact that our programs, our offerings are in addition to the core of what you offer. I mean, you're the best out there, and so are other 8Zers. And fundamentally, this all revolves around having a great realtor. My past experience, I got into real estate from the tech side. So 8Z, we fundamentally believe the consumer deserves both great agent and great technology. If you come at it from the tech side only, it's kind of hard to get you, Marco. And fundamentally, that's what the experience. You're the deliverer of the experience. You're the one who holds it all together. The quarterback, make sure all the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, you close on time. And your client has a great experience. So thank you for making our offering better.
You are welcome, Lane. Cool. And Lane is mentioning like all these pieces together. If you have questions, you can always reach out to me. If you have specific questions about getting approved, we have a team at 8Z Mortgage that can help you. If you have questions about the specific, how is the offer going to be made from 8Z Offers, we have a team at 8Z Offers. We have all these support systems around to really help make this a smooth process. So,
yeah, totally. We believe in having the best person for each piece of the transaction. And putting together that team to do everything cohesively. So, there's no finger pointing. We're all 8Z. If something goes amiss, well, we're not going to point fingers at each other. We're going to fix it.
Yep. And it's all in-house, right? It's our company. So, and am I correct in this? We're the only real estate company that has this all in-house. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Cool.
For now, won't be forever.
Right. I know. The market's going to catch up, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about cost. So this comes up. It's usually one of the first questions is like, what's the catch? Is one of the, sometimes people ask this, like, there's really not a catch, but there is a cost associated with 8Z cash offers, and there's a cost associated with bridge. So let's just talk about those real quick.
Yeah. So on the cash offer side, it's the service fee is 1% of the purchase price of the home. And on the modern bridge side, it's 1.9% of the purchase price of the home the client is going to. And, it kind of makes sense, right? If someone's going to put up $500,000, $1 million, $1.5 million of real cash to buy the home, own the home, it's not costless. I wish it was, but it's not costless. Yeah. However, there is a way that you can make money doing this.
Mm-hmm. And I know the answer to this, and what is that?
Yeah, so those are the service fees, but what we see is when you look at the whole picture in totality, is many of our clients who use cash offer and modern bridge actually come out ahead. And here's how. The 1% on the cash offer side, for instance, think about a buyer right now. It's taken them an average of 7 or 8 offers to get under contract and close. And the time required for those 7 or 8 offers is usually about 2 months. And that's when things are, as an agent, as a realtor, that means you're clipping along, right? You're making an offer every weekend. And it could be 4 months. Well, guess what's happening to the Colorado real estate market in those 2 or 4 months? Yeah.
It's only going one direction.
Yeah. And it's about 1% a month right now in appreciation, kind of a rule of thumb. Mm-hmm. Will it be that way forever? No, probably not. But it is right now. So by getting your home under, getting across the finish line sooner and becoming a homeowner sooner, you capture that appreciation. You don't miss out on it. And then the other thing that's happening right now, Marco, unfortunately, home prices are going up and interest rates are going up. So it's like the double whammy for the buyer. They're getting hit from both sides. Prices are going up, but their purchasing power is going down. And for every 1% interest rates go up, guess how much that erodes your purchasing power? 10%.
Tough. Yeah.
So better to maybe arm yourself to win right out of the gate, because we're seeing for our clients, it takes about 1.4 offers to get under contract instead of 7 and change.
That's a lot faster. Yeah. Across the board. Yeah.
So you end up actually making money because it's in the equity of your home that you own. And not to mention, I don't know about you, but if I'm really psyched about buying a home, I would rather be living in it 4 months earlier than 4 months later.
Yes.
I mean, there's a reason you're buying the home. It's not just for
right. I know. Exactly. I just bought this place like 6 months ago. It's like
beautiful,
the best,
by
right?
the way. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. It looks like a fake background. I don't know.
It's a real basement. And you'll notice my episodes with Sergio are recorded like right back there at the bar. So, and
I recognize that.
That's right. And you didn't even mention this, but or maybe you did, but often we're going to win the cash offer below the highest offer if it's a loan contingent offer. The last one I got accepted was $20,000 under the highest offer because it was a loan contingent offer. So
I mean that certainly is again, nothing's guaranteed, right? But on average, cash offers are accepted at about 1% lower than a loan contingent offer. So 1%. There's your 1%, right?
Right. And I mean, I've lost them. Like I lost a cash offer this last weekend. Someone was so high that it didn't matter. Like it doesn't always win. It just gives you a better shot. And that's what we were wanting to do. And ultimately, like we're not doing this. I've said this before. We're not doing this to like make a few $1,000 on a convenience fee. Like I don't get it. Like 8Z is not doing that. I don't get a kickback from doing this. No one asked me to make this podcast and talk to you about this, right? Like, I'm doing this because it literally just gives my buyers a better shot to win, which is great for them. It's great for me. It's great for everyone. You get a better shot of winning your dream home rather than like your 8th choice of home because you've lost all these offers.
Yeah, I think at 8Z, and I know you subscribe to this, Marco. You're playing long ball, right? These are clients for life. This is the first of many transactions they or their friends or family are going to do with you. So you're just trying to make them homeowners or help them sell and become a new homeowner. And, you're looking at the big picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, I wish it was free. I wish I wish we could put $800,000 out and buy a house and didn't have to pay for insurance and the cost of carrying the house. But unfortunately, it's not free.
Right. But well worth it if it's a good fit, for the buyer, for the seller buyer using Bridge. It's ultimately up to them, right? So again, that's another reason I'm doing this. The more information people have about how this works, the better they'll be able to decide, is this something that fits for me? Is this something that I think will help me get into my next home sooner, help me make that transition, and then they can choose for themselves.
Absolutely. Gives them options. They don't.
Cool.
And then they can decide on the specific deal or house. Do they want to deploy Bridge or cash offer or not?
Yeah, exactly. They don't have to. And that's something that has, been a little bit of an aha to a couple people I've talked to recently. Like, look, get approved for this is my recommendation. Get approved. It takes about a week to get we pre-funded for this program is what we call it, right? because it's not just a regular, pre-approval. Like we're going to put you through underwriting with 8C mortgage, like all of that to make sure we know you're very qualified. But then if it comes down to it, let's say you happen to find a home that's been on the market for 3 weeks. You don't necessarily, if you're not competing, you could deploy a regular conventional loan offer. You don't have to use it just because you're approved for it, but it is great to have it in your pocket if you want to.
Absolutely. Options, right?
Options. Cool. Well, I mean, that's about it for the FAQs on this. Is there anything else you want to add to this? Any final thoughts from Lane? Any wrap up words of wisdom?
I think as you look ahead and you think about where the market's going to be, a couple things. There's a lot of banter right now about, hey, the market's topping. There's a bubble, and you could pick up the newspaper every day and read that. I've been reading that for 5 years, by the way. And if you would have believed those headlines 4 or 5 years ago, you would have missed out on about 100% appreciation, just to put it in perspective. So that, the $200,000, $300,000 house you could have bought, 5 years ago, that house is now $350,000, $450,000. And so that worries me that people are misled a little bit by some of those headlines, and they choose to kind of sit on the sidelines of the market, even though they have a real need to purchase. And I'm a believer in home ownership. I have adult age kids, and it's all about just getting in the market. You can't really time the market, but if you get into it and you can stay in it and hold, real estate will be very good to you. Now, if you need to get out in 2 years, that's a different equation. But if you need a place to live and you're going to be there for five years plus, you might want to think about getting in the market. And we're just trying to bring the tools to help people become homeowners.
Yeah, awesome. Well said. I think we'll leave it at that. So, Lane, thank you so much for being on this podcast. I super appreciate you joining me for the conversation.
Great to be here. Thanks for getting the word out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast, wherever you're listening or watching to this. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate the support for the show. So thank you so much for doing that. Again, ultimately, I hope that this was helpful so that you understand more details about how our cash buyer program and how our bridge program actually work. This has been an original production of Super Team Media. I'm your host, Marco Randazzo with 8Z Real Estate. Thank you so much for listening to this real estate podcast, Sold by Marco. That music will be cued.